have my coffee, I have some granola and strawberries, I lit a candle, I have a playlist queued up on Spotify to go to listen to while I read, and we are reading A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the little novella in the ACOFAS series. I'm about 65 pages in. It's a fairly short book. It's only 233 pages, so I'm hoping I can just kind of sit here and get this completely done this morning, and we'll see what we think. So far, I'm not loving it compared to the other books in the series. I've heard that about this one, but we'll see where it takes us. I am excited to read the next one in the series though, so let's get this finished. Let's do some reading journaling, and let's see what other books we have in store for this video. Okay, so update on A Court of Frost and Starlight. I finished reading it. It's been a few days now, so let's go over what I thought about it. So I ended up rating this a 2.5 stars. You guys would have seen me put my initial thoughts down in my journal, and then I revisited it and wrote a couple more things, and also decided to rate this a 2.5 stars. Almost DNF'd it, but I want to be able to say that I've read all of the ACOTAR books, so I'm excited to move on to the next one. This one was a short little novella. I knew that it was going to be different in writing to the other books that I've previously read in this series. However, I really didn't enjoy this. I felt like I didn't get anything from it. Like, genuinely nothing happened in this book. I have yet to read the next one in the series, but I feel like you can skip this book and still have full context on what's going on. I understand what she was trying to do with this book. I think she was trying to take a break from the politics of the world and all the bigger events that were happening, and trying to give us an insight into the aftermath of everything happening and give us more character development, but I feel like it never quite got there. Like, I wanted more. I wanted more out of this book. I wanted it to give us a little bit more character development wise. Like, if she didn't want to develop the plot more in this one, that's fine, but I felt like I just didn't get quite deep enough for the character development in this book, and I honestly didn't really like it. I felt it was very slow and very boring. Like, I felt very bored throughout this book. It was nice to see, like, from a couple different characters' perspectives that we haven't gotten to see in any of the other books in the series yet, but overall, did not love this one. So now I'm currently reading The Witcher, and then I'm also reading a couple other books for another video that I'm filming, but yeah, so that's kind of how I felt about this one. Kind of sad. I also picked up another book that I'm hoping to get to in this video, but right now we're gonna do something really exciting, so let me show you that. My boyfriend surprised me and was very kind to gift me with one of these book embossers, so I'll show you close up. Came with some gold seal stickers, so I can use that in some books, and it's just a little embosser, and it says "From the Library of," and has my name and this beautiful floral book design, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna go through and emboss all of my books right now. So I embossed the bottom corner. You can't probably see it on camera. It's very subtle, which is what I wanted. I don't want like a huge thing in every single book being like, this is my book, but I think it's a really cute little touch to add to my personal library. So I'm gonna take some time to emboss all of my books right now, and I'm gonna put some Criminal Minds on in the background and take you guys with me while I do that. So this is my big bookshelf of all of the books that I have in my personal library. So I'm gonna just go through and emboss an inside page of every single one of my books. This is something that I wanted to do. It'll also be really nice to look at all the books that I own and revisit all the books that I own. I read this book such a long time ago that maybe I'm gonna add it to a list of books that I want to reread from my collection. So maybe it'll get added to a future TBR. So I'm about 80 pages of the way through The Witcher. I'm really liking it so far. I'm pretty familiar with The Witcher story, but I'm finding it a little bit slow paced because this is just a collection of short stories, so there isn't really a continuing plot throughout this specific Witcher book. So I think I need a little bit of a break from reading so much fantasy lately. So I think I'm going to get into A Study of Drowning. I picked this up at the bookstore yesterday, which you guys will have seen. And I'm really excited for this one. This one sounds so interesting. This has been on my TBR for a long time. I know I have other books that I just bought that are on my TBR, like Fourth Wing and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, but this one's like looks like a really short, quick read. It sounded really intriguing. It's catching my attention right now, so I feel like I should read what I feel in the mood to read. So we're gonna see how far we get through this tonight. I already really like Ava Reid's writing. I'm gonna read you this like one little section that I just read that really stood out to me. It says, "Yet now, standing in the lobby, the library was suddenly a terrifying place. The solitude that had once comforted her had become an enormous empty space where so many bad things could happen. She did not know what exactly. It was only a roiling, imprecise dread. The silence was a span of time before inevitable disaster, like watching a glass teeter further toward the edge of a table, anticipating the moment it would tip and shatter. She did not entirely understand why the things that had once been familiar now felt hostile and strange." Are you kidding me? She ate with that paragraph. The explanation of what I feel when I have anxiety, just that dread and that sense of you don't know why, you can't explain why, but that's the feeling. So I really like her description. I hope that the rest of the book reads like this. But yeah, I just wanted to share that one little spoiler-free part about how our main character, Effie, kind of like an insight into her mind and how she's feeling. And I really, really like this so far. I'm literally not even that far into it, but it's really good so far and really captivating. It was an internal feeling, the sense of being unwelcome. No matter where she was, Effie was always afraid she was not wanted. She took a sip of tea. The warmth helped ease some of her discomfort. I am not even 20 pages into this book and I already love this main character. I think she's super relatable already. I'll give you my thoughts the further I get into it, but if you're someone who struggles with anxiety, I think you're really going to relate to the main character in this book and you're really going to enjoy this author's writing. It's almost making you want to annotate this book, which I never annotate books. I only annotate self-help books I read or non-fiction books. But I've never like felt this desire to annotate a fictional book before. So I'm really enjoying the writing in this, and some of the quotes that I'm pulling from it are like really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, a little bit of a reading update. I read a bunch last night. I'm about halfway through the book. I'm on chapter 10, 182 pages in. I realized I never gave anyone a description of this book when I started reading it, so I'm just gonna read the description on here and also apologize if I mispronounce anything because some of the words in this book are a little hard for me to like know how I should pronounce them. Effie Sayre has always believed in fairy tales. She's had no choice. Since childhood, she's been haunted by visions of the Fairy King. She's found solace only in the pages of Angharad, Emrys Mirrodin's beloved epic about a mortal girl who falls in love with a fairy king and then destroys him. Effie's tattered copy is all that's keeping her afloat during her first term at the prestigious Lyrian Architecture College. So when Mirrodin's family announces a contest to redesign the late author's estate, Effie feels certain this is her destiny. But Hiraeth Manor is an impossible task, a musty, decrepit house on the brink of crumbling into a hungry sea. And when Effie arrives, someone else has already made a temporary home there. Preston Hellery, a stodgy young literature scholar, is determined to prove Effie's favorite author a fraud. As the two rival students investigate the reclusive author's legacy, piecing together clues through his letters, books, and diaries, they discover that the house's foundation isn't the only thing that can't be trusted. There are dark forces, both mortal and magical, conspiring against them, and the truth may bring them both to ruin. So the description on this one really caught my eye, hence why I picked it up and why I've just been absolutely devouring this book. I'm hoping to get the rest of it done either today or tomorrow. But yeah, it's really interesting so far. I love the main character, Effie. I really like watching her relationship develop with Preston and the weird paranormal things that are happening around the house that they're both in. It's been really, really good so far. Again, I've been really enjoying this author's writing. I read you guys some clips previously of pieces of dialogue in the book. I'm going to go ahead and continue reading this. I'm hoping to get it done today. We'll see how far we get. So Aritzia is my favorite clothing store. I usually buy all of my staples from there. So I had this shirt in a gray color. I wanted to get it in a white, and I also got it in black. And then I also invested in a pair of their sweat fleece sweatpants. And these I want to get in every single color now. The pockets are really deep. The fabric is so thick and warm, which Canadian winter, I need that. These are the comfiest pants that I own. And now I want them in every single color. So that is my little clothing haul. So I'm going to insert the little reel of me redecorating my Kindle. I am genuinely so in love with it now. I have a little skin on it, some stickers, and this pop socket, which I really love for my Kindle. I'll put all the links for everything down below. I also initially had the skin on the front of it, but it was really distracting and bothering me when I was reading, so I ended up taking it off, and I really like it a lot this way. It's genuinely perfect. We love her. Okay, let's talk about it. I finished reading A Study in Drowning this week. I ended up rating it 4.5 stars. I really like this book, and I know it has kind of mixed reviews on GOODREADS. I think going into this knowing it was a YA, so it was going to read a bit younger. I really enjoyed this book overall. Let me just take a look through what I wrote. I did add this into my reading journal right here. I said that I really like this book. It was quirky, it was funny, it was whimsical. I absolutely love the main character, Effie, how the author depicts her anxiety and talks about her anxiety in a way that was super relatable, and I haven't really read a book lately that had a main character that's had mental health struggles. It captures it in a beautifully poetic way. So there's parts of this, like I said, because it's YA, I found the romance in this between the two characters to be a little young and a bit cringe, a couple moments between them. It was kind of a slow burn, but overall, I liked both the characters. I liked all the characters in this book. I definitely liked her more than I liked his character. His character felt a little bit bland to me, but overall, I liked the relationship that developed between the two of them. So there were so many great quotes in this book. I'm considering giving it a reread maybe later on in the year and annotating it, because there were so many points in the book. You guys would have seen, I read a couple passages, I put a couple of passages quoted up on the screen. I liked how the book ended. Just overall, this was a really great read. It definitely wasn't quite 5-star. I think if this wasn't YA and it was more adult, and the romance read more adult, and Preston, the love interest character, if his character just had a little bit more, this would have pushed it over the edge for me and given it 5 stars. The other thing I really liked in this one, Effie, the main character, is living in a world where women are very repressed in what they're allowed to do, what they're allowed to say, what's expected of them, and she really pushes back against that agenda, which I love for her and for the women in this universe. I found the magical fantasy part of this to be really interesting, because it kind of mixes together what would be considered a place that could exist in real life and mixing it with fantastical sort of story and plot was really well done. I was guessing what was going to happen, but not really knowing what was going to happen till the very end. So this was overall a really great read. We went from a really bad read to a really good read, and I'm still working my way through The Witcher slowly but surely, and I'm also currently reading Crescent City for the next video you guys are going to see. Overall, loved this book. I don't know why people don't enjoy this one as much, but I really liked it for what it was.